You already know what you need to do. You know you should be in the gym, you know you should be studying, you know you should wake up earlier and eat right. You know all of these things. So why aren't you? And that's not a rhetorical question. Genuinely ask yourself that right now. Why are you not doing the things that you know that you should be doing? Because the answer to that is the difference between who you are right now and the man that you are trying to become. That is the discipline gap. That's exactly what we're talking about today. The discipline gap is the space between doing what you know you should do and what you actually do. And this is what most people get wrong. They think that discipline and motivation go hand in hand. They think that if they get some motivation, they're able to close that gap and their life will just magically get better. They'll watch another video, they'll watch another podcast, they'll do whatever they have to get that little form of motivation. Throw on David Goggins for another 30 minutes. That'll fix your life. And this is the thing. Once that motivation fades, so does everything else. You don't continue to put in that effort. That 3 a.m. motivation Sunday night saying, oh, I just wasted the past week. My life is still terrible. When Monday morning comes and your alarm goes off at 5 in the morning, you are hitting snooze. You cannot rely on motivation to save you because the discipline gap is the identity. It is an identity problem, not a motivation problem. And here's exactly what I mean. Your behavior always matches your identity. If you believe that you are a lazy person, you will always find a way to be lazy. If you believe that you are undisciplined and that you quit at the first sign of struggle, you will always match that identity. You don't rise to your expectations. You don't rise to the standards that you want to have. You fall back on the identity and the standards that you actually have. So the first thing that you need to understand is discipline is not something that you do. It is someone who you become. Now let me break down the 3 reasons why men never close this gap and they never end up in the life that they truly want. The first one is they are addicted to comfort. This is as pure as it can be. Your brain is wired to seek pleasure, but we live in a world right now where pleasure is constantly around us. It is infinite and we can get it at the snap of a finger. You can pick up your phone and scroll for 4 hours without any outside interaction. If you wanted, you could spend an entire day laying in your bed doing absolutely nothing, but still feeling stimulated the whole time. Comfort is the enemy of growth, not because rest is bad. Rest is absolutely necessary, but because most men aren't resting. They are just stimulating their brain. They're getting their dopamine receptors going, and they aren't actually letting their body recover. They're hiding away from the world, hiding away from their reality. They aren't recovering, they are avoiding. And the difference is one makes you strong and the other keeps you stuck. Reason number 2 why most guys never close this gap is because you are afraid of who you will have to become. You are afraid of the responsibilities that you will have to take on once you get there. Because when you make that decision that you are the disciplined guy, that you are the guy who goes out and puts in the extra effort, the guy who wakes up at this time every single morning, the guy who does his best in all of his work, people will start looking at you with that identity. People will start expecting you to deliver those results. And you don't want to have that pressure of letting them down. You don't want to have that pressure of having to live up to yourself, that new identity that you have become. This one's deep, and most men won't admit it, but I openly will. I have absolutely dealt with this one. I've dealt with the fear of failure, the fear of all the responsibility and pressure, which I talked about in one of my first videos. Change is scary, not because of the work, but because of what it means. When you actually get in shape, when you actually become that disciplined person, when you actually start doing all of these things, people will notice and they will associate that with your new identity. They will expect those results out of you. There's no more excuses. You have to hold yourself to that higher standard and you can't fall backwards anymore. You have to be accountable to yourself. And that means that now you have to show up every single day as that new version of you. Some men are subconsciously comfortable in their problems because it gives them an identity. They'll say, oh, well, I'm working on it. Oh, well, I'm trying to get in shape. And, I've been through a lot and right now is not the right time. But all of those are ways of avoiding the responsibility of being that man that you should be. And reason number 3 why you are not getting out of that gap is because you are playing the long game wrong. Most men want results fast, and when they don't get those fast results, they end up quitting. Then they start over, and then they quit again, and it just keeps going through this cycle. That cycle I like to call the restart loop. It is one of the most dangerous places a man can be because every time you quit, you are reinforcing this identity that you are a quitter. Consistency over 6 months beats intensity over 2 weeks. And even if you don't have those results at 6 months, you are forging an identity that proves that you are the man who shows up every day. All right, so how do we actually fix this? Well, here's the framework that's worked for me, and I've seen it work for other men who actually care about changing their life. Step 1, you have to decide who you are before you decide what you do. Before you write down a single goal, before you ever get out that notepad and say all these amazing achievements that you want to have, I want you to write down 3 sentences. And they all start with I am. This is very important that you start with I am, because it's not I will be, it's not I want to be, it's not I'm trying to be. It's I am. I am this type of person. First, I want you to say I am someone who shows up every single day, even when I don't feel like it. Then I want you to say I am someone who takes care of himself. After that, I need you to write down, I am someone who is in control of his time and energy. These 3, I'm someone who shows up every single day. I'm someone who takes care of himself. I'm someone who controls his time and energy. That is your new identity. That is the man who you are becoming, and you are reinforcing these every single day by repeating them aloud. When you are repeating these every single day, you are imprinting that into your mind, and slowly your behavior starts to reflect that. Step 2, I want you to make discipline easier than weakness. Stop trying to rely on your willpower. Your willpower is fleeting, to say the least. It is underdeveloped and it will not get you far. Instead, engineer your environment so the easiest default choice is the right choice. For example, this treadmill behind me. When I go to bed at night, I leave my phone there, I leave a bottle of water there, I have the shoes on the floor, as you can see. And the first thing I do every morning, I just wake up, I use the bathroom real quick, and then I come on here. I slip on my shoes real quick, turn on the treadmill, and I have my phone there so I can pull up the Bible app. That's very simple, and there's no friction there. I'm able to do the thing that I need to do by default without having to struggle for it. Whatever you need to do, whether that's delete all the apps, leave your phone in a different room, sleep with your gym clothes on, whatever. Just remove that friction out of making that decision. Then you can add friction for the bad habits that you're trying to get rid of. So for example, for me, just like leaving my phone away. If I leave my phone in a different room, I won't be able to go grab it. It will be hard for me to waste my time on it. Discipline isn't about being mentally tough in every single moment. It's about setting your life up in a way so you don't have to fight over every single action that you take. Now, step 3, I want you to use a 24-hour rule. When you feel like quitting, I want you to just tell yourself, not right now, maybe tomorrow, but let's get through this day. Most urges to quit come from a bad day, from a bad moment, maybe something happened, whatever it is. And if you just push through this 24 hours, if you just get to tomorrow, you won't want to quit anymore. You'll have a renewed sense of energy. And I know that this works because I've battled addiction with it. I overcame my addiction by just saying, all right, I'm not going to do it today. It's as simple as that. And step 4, I want you to track your streak, not your results. In the early stages of what you're trying to build, your results are not something that you can control. You can't just magically say, this is exactly what I'm going to have on this day. But you can control if you show up. You can control if you put in that effort. And that's the only thing that I want you to focus on right now. Did you show up today? Yes or no? That's what matters. I don't care if you're getting the A+ results that you wanted. I want to know if you showed up. Build a 30-day streak, and I promise you an identity shift will begin to happen. You'll begin to see yourself as that person who actually shows up for himself, who says that he's going to do it and does the thing. And when you see yourself differently, everything changes. I want to be real with you for a second. Nobody is coming to save you. No mentor, no YouTube video, no podcast episode, no book, no amount of money. None of that is going to close your discipline gap. It is a decision that you have to make. And then you have to keep making that decision every single day. Because the men that you look up to, the ones who have actually achieved amazing things in their life, and they're focused and they're disciplined and financially free and at peace and respected by people, they are not special. They are just built. They put in the time and they created the person that they wanted to be. They stopped negotiating with themselves. They made that decision and they've stuck through with it. That's available to you right now. You can choose to close that gap. You can choose to be the guy who actually changes his life. But it starts with you being honest with yourself. Where are you lacking? You have to choose to change it. Not wish for it, not hope for it. Make the actual decision right now that you are going to change your life. So let me leave you with this. The discipline gap is absolutely real. It is the space between who you are right now and the man that you know you can be. Most men stay in that space their whole life, not because they couldn't close it, but because they never chose to. Don't be that man. If this video hit for you, let me know about it in the comments. I'd love to know which part was most important for you to hear. Like the video if it gave you some value, and subscribe if you are serious about changing your life, because I post videos like this every week. I'll see you in the next one.